So you're wondering why people aren't buying your stuff. They aren't checking out your offer. Most of them aren't even getting back to you in the inbox. Now, are you starting to think that that means something is wrong with you, your approach, or maybe even your business? Do you want to actually get better at sales, but you also don't want to make it feel like you have to take a shower afterwards? If that's the case, today's video is for you. I want to share the 3 critical components you need to make a sale online. Because once I understood this, it literally gave me the ability of exponentially building my business so I could leave my full-time job. Are you ready to find out? Let's go. So if you have an online business, selling is something you're going to have to lean into. And let me tell you, being a police officer for 20 years did not teach me what I needed to know to make a sale online. The truth is, you can have the best program or product on the freaking planet. And if you don't know how to sell, nobody's going to buy your stuff. For that reason, I want to share the 3 critical components you need to have when it comes to making every single sale you make. Now, when I first learned about this, I thought there was something wrong with me, something wrong with my business. And it's because I didn't have one, sometimes multiple of these pieces. And when I was able to put them all together, it totally changed the game for me. And if the fact that people aren't buying stuff in your business you're making means something about you, I want you to remember that this is just one huge science experiment. You ready to begin the experiment? I want you to picture 3 interconnected circles. Back in school, they used to call this a Venn diagram. These 3 circles are connected in a way where there's a little portion in the center that covers all of them. This is the way that I want you to mark down each circle. So in the circle in the top left, I want you to write the right person. Now, finding the right person starts off with what you're talking about, your values. It talks about what you're sharing. It talks about the value that you're actually bringing to people during your calls, during your podcast, during your videos. Because what you naturally put out, people will naturally start to be attracted to. So if you're talking about, let's say, dogs all the time, and then you try to sell a course about how to build a business, you're not going to have the right people for your offer. So yes, when I say the right people, we want to find the right people, but how we do that is we attack it from our angle. Meaning we think about, like, what am I putting out there into the world? If I want leaders on my team, am I calling out to leaders? If I want people who are struggling with time management, am I calling out to people who struggle with time management and then getting upset because they don't have enough time to implement some of the things that I'm asking them to do? Now, the reason why this is so critical is because if you find the wrong person, you're actually going to be in pain twice. Number 1 is because when you get to that point where you can actually effectively help somebody with your business, if they signed up, they won't sign up. And number 2 is when you get really good at sales, sometimes you realize those people will sign up and then you'll have to spend your time and energy with them and they shouldn't have been in your program in the first place. That's why we have to focus on the right people. And we do that by making sure that we are attracting them with the right language. Now, the second circle, I want you to put the right time. Now, hear me out on this. Sometimes time can just be a limiting belief, but there are going to be certain situations that in reality, it's not the right time. Now, what if you were just getting started in business and I offered you a course to help take your 6-figure business to a 7-figure business? Would this be the right time for you? I would answer no, because in reality, it would actually slow you down because the things you're teaching a 7-figure business owner is not the same things that a 6-figure business owner and a 5-figure business owner need to understand. And a little bit of a side note, like I'm sure you've dealt with this where you've tried to tell somebody that it's the wrong time and it's really the wrong time. And they try to convince you that it's the right time right now and that you should take action and join their program or join their product. How does that make you feel when people are attacking that? Now, I'm not saying that sometimes this is not a limiting belief. You definitely want to talk about the limiting beliefs that have held you back from jumping in earlier. But at the same time, sometimes it really is not the right time. Now, what I love to do is when somebody tells me it's not the right time, I actually let them identify when the right time would be. And now I'm not trying to do this because I want to get them to buy right then. No, I want them to really identify it because a lot of times we're never even asked that question. So when would the right time be? Now, the third circle, I want you to write the right message. So we've got the right person, we've got the right time, and we've got the right message. Now, what most people think is they think this is the right offer. But hear me out on this, because if you're trying to help serve somebody, more than likely, it's somebody that you personally have been in the past, and you know what they absolutely need to be able to accomplish that thing. But they don't know that. And you trying to sell your product or program is like you yelling from one side of the mountaintop to the other mountaintop, and they have no idea what you're talking about because all they want to do is help solve an immediate problem for themselves. If you're trying to sell mindset, you're trying to sell self-care, you're trying to sell the compound effect, like even though those things are critical and you know absolutely they need to lean into that, trying to sell that on the front end is not going to be possible. That's not what people actually think they want. And this is where you get into, what do they actually want? Do they want to lose 5 pounds? Do they want to create a 7-figure business? Do they want to have better relationships with their family? Find out what it is that they're struggling with the most, and that is how you connect your message. Now, your message is going to be different than your program. A lot of times we know what it is that they need, but we need to connect with them with what they actually want and build a path over to what you sell. And there's one final piece to this that I don't want you guys to miss. When you have the right person, when you have the right time, and when you have the right message, you have to ask for the sale. Every time you do not ask for the sale, you don't give them the ability of being able to effectively change their life with your program. So what happens if you get to this part and you're like, I feel like an imposter with the program and the products and stuff that I'm putting out there into the world? If that's you, check out this other video. You definitely need to dive in. But I appreciate you so much. Thank you for leading from the front, and I'll see you soon.